how do you make sense of the Too Short legacy after doing something like 836?
I just think that if you were to be around me long enough to see me do a show, do an interview, make an album, hang around in my personal life, then you'll see that there's a guy named Todd who made up a character named Too Short, made a bunch of good-ass music, and there's really a science to it. It's not just some shit-talking little foul-mouthed person who goes in the studio and goes, bitch, suck my dick. I mean, I really sat around and thought, like, well, let me see, if I said, bitch, suck my dick, a lot of people probably don't like that. So let me go in the studio and go, suck my dick, bitch, and then get out the studio and live my life. It's business, man. I saw it from the first time I said a curse word in a rap record, and everybody laughed. I said I had 16 hoes sucking 10 toes, and people laughed. I was like, damn, let me go tell you a story about how I got these 16 hoes. That's a whole new song. And you know, shit, it's always been an opportunity that I could clearly see it, and I took it. The opportunity was people like a little bit of comedy, explicit comedy, and rap. Hadn't been around when I started doing it, so I did it, and I did it so subtly that you would laugh and enjoy the music, and you never even thought this motherfucker's really just talking shit and telling jokes on the low. Like it went over your head because it was music, it was rhythmic, you know, and you just didn't notice I was actually doing what a comedian would do, or doing what a storyteller would do, or some person writing books, whatever. Hard ass beat, I'm talking a lot of shit. That's Too Short. Here, take it. And I think I needed those kind of songs for the album to just drive the character home. Like this dude is hard like this. Like, you know, get to the hook, and that's Too Short sitting at a red light, and like, what's the hook? Like the beat, like, I don't know. Like that's just. I try to make songs like that, man, and just to somebody else, they were like, that's not how you make a record. I'm like, well, that's how we make records.
So in the time that you and NWA and all these guys came out, you guys really made it clear of what was going on in black culture and what was going on with police culture and kind of how those things kind of cross the boundaries. Lately we've been seeing a lot with, you know, Black Lives Matter and all the police brutality resurrecting pretty much again in the press. How do you make sense of you guys kind of bringing that story to the surface in the time that you bought it versus what's going on now? How did you kind of filter over into all of that stuff?
Well, you said resurrected lately by the press. Right. It ain't went nowhere.
Right. And
prior to me being a teenager or ever unjustly being handcuffed, harassed, or whatever, come on now. This is born from black men looking at white women and getting hung. It's the same exact sentiment where I live in Oakland, California, and I can't figure out why this officer just pulled me over in Oakland, California, and he got the thickest southern accent I ever heard in my life. And I'm like, how did you get to be Oakland Police Department? You're out here harassing niggas, you know, and like, what is a redneck officer doing in Oakland? He's out there having fun, that's what he's doing. And basically, you know, we look back on it now, we're sitting there, we're so concerned right now about these recent, you know, since Trayvon and how that got so much light. Now every little incident is getting light. Mm-hmm. But man, this has been going on. It's like I'm sitting there going, we done locked up 2 million motherfuckers in 20, 30 years, and now you sitting there saying something's going wrong? Shit, it's 2 million niggas locked up from whack-ass drug charges to just being policed in the hood. You know, this shit is not, it's not equal, man. The policing that they do in the suburbs is not equal to the policing that they do in the hood. You know, all these conditions, man, and you sitting there just, it's like a trap. They call it the trap. I don't know who the fuck named it the trap, because that seems like you be trying to stay away from the trap. But we like, you know, my man bragging about, I'm in the trap. Nigga, when you get trapped, you end up in prison. You feel me? So how you glorifying the trap, or even or saying I want to be there, you should be really saying, man, I'm in the trap. I'm trying to do some things to get the fuck up out the trap. You know what I mean? And that could be selling dope and getting money, but you should be flipping that and turning it into something legit, invested into your real dreams or something, man, or something. But I just think that we're focusing right now on police harassment, and we're sitting there going, it's unjust. It's a election year. Is this going to be a hot topic next year? You know what I'm saying? Are we going? Because You know, it's cats like Oscar Grant. You know, the other ones. I'm thinking about the ones that got shot in the back while they already subdued. Like, not just shot, because that's a terrible thing to be murdered. You know, murdered is what some of these police shootings are, murdered.
Right.
But then, what's the other side, man? Right now, I mean, we Chicago, LA, I mean, Oakland, we shooting the shit out ourselves. So it's like, that's not even, to me, I'm thinking that's just as important. Black Lives Matter. I mean, you shooting each other the fuck up. And, you know, this whole thing about all these homies in jail, man, for all these little reasons. Like my homie's about to come home right now from doing damn near 30 years for some drug charges that somebody else would have been in jail for 5, 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He lost his whole youth. So I think as this election goes by and we put this shit to rest, I feel like us who really care, we shouldn't back up off the you know, our new movement, which is, you know, feels a little similar to like civil rights movement, but this ain't nothing new, man. This is Jim Crow. It's still going down. They just keep renaming it.
How do you make sense of your legacy as